Ha ha ha, this is so much fun. Oh, hello there. You caught me in the middle of my Pokemon game. We'll put this away for now. Now, have you ever thought there was a Pokemon problem? Probably not. But I'll tell you that there is. Just you wait right there. Now, while I think Pokemon is a really good game, I do think that it has some flaws with the newer series. So as you can tell by the title, I do think that Pokemon has a problem. What that problem is, I feel like Pokemon is getting more bland, and I feel like Pokemon is getting too easy. Now, while I don't think this is too bad of a problem, I do feel like it could affect the Pokemon series overall. Now, what I mean by Pokemon getting too easy, I feel like it's feeling more like Kirby, but if Kirby didn't have if you weren't able to play Kirby with your friends. Pokemon is more of a single player game, and it will always sort of just be a single player game, even though it is adding more cooperative features throughout the games. Like Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee, and Pikachu, they let you play with your friends if you just handed them another Joy-Con, which is a good concept. I do think that is a good idea. But in Pokemon Sword and Shield, from what I saw, you can kind of just roam around with them in the hub world, which was like the wild area, and then you can also communicate with them through the YCOM, which I do think is also another good idea. While I think the YCOM is sort of just like a 3DS, the 3DS kind of like bottom screen for like Sword and Shield, not Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon, and X and Y. I do feel like that is a good idea because you do get to see what the activity of your friends are. You get to see if they want to battle. You get to see if they've captured a Pokemon. You see if they want to trade, stuff like that. I do feel like that is a step in the right direction. Now, Pokemon also, the Pokemon memorability, I do feel like they're also getting better at that in Pokemon Sword and Shield. With Pokemon like Wooloo, which is probably going to be like the more basic one, as you can see here. Then there's Pamper or Yamper, whatever his name is. He's not officially released, but he was in the E3 demo, which is a good way to release announce Pokemon, which is a Lightning Corgi, I believe. I'm not too sure about what his typing is, but it is there. They also have Corviknight, which is the bird, the metal bird, which is probably one of the cooler ones that they have announced. But he's also basically Uber. Then they also added Glacifer or whatever, which is just like the grass Pokemon, which you can't win with all of them. You get some misses even though they're all hits. Okay, it makes sense. But I do feel like they're stepping up the process of their Pokemon game. Like Pokemon in Generation 5, like Kling, not really memorable, but they do have more memorable names, and that's kind of how you memorize them. Just Kling, whatever. Pokemon like that, like Kadabra, and then Alakazam, just kind of like a magic trick. Just that's how you kind of remember it. Now for the Pokédex and Galar, it's kind of just they are probably gonna add a lot of Pokemon, but they're not adding every single Pokemon, if you know what I mean. They're probably going to add about 500 Pokemon for the Galar Pokédex, which, like, in Pokemon Sun and Moon, they didn't have Pokédex entries for every single Pokemon, but you could still transfer them over if you did have them. But in Sword and Shield, if they're not in the Pokédex, you can't have the Pokemon. It's just not going to really exist. While I don't think this is too big of a problem, because I believe they will fix this and they will add more Pokemon with an update or something, I do think they should have spent more time on this and, probably put every single Pokemon in the game, which I feel like they know people weren't going to like, but it was kind of a risky move and, it didn't really work because people like their Pokemon. So what I'm saying is, if you really like a Pokemon, and like that Pokemon's not gonna be in the game, you're gonna be upset about it. For me personally, I believe all my Pokemon that I want are gonna be in the game. For all the starters, I believe are all going to be in. All the legendaries probably going to be in. All the special Pokemon like Eevee and Pikachu, they're definitely going to be in because they're just special Pokemon. Everyone knows them, and I believe they'll all be in. But like I said earlier, I do think certain Pokemon will not make it back in, such as Klinklang, because they're not as memorable as the Pokemon. But it is still a possibility for them to make it in, even if they aren't technically in on the full release. They still have possibility of coming out at later like updates. Now the gimmicks for this game I do think are kind of cool with the Dynamaxing, and you just get big Pokemon. That's the gimmick of this game. You get big Pokemon. In Sun and Moon and X and Y, you get Z moves and Mega Evolutions respectively. But I don't think they were really that cool. Z moves did not have a purpose. Mega Evolutions were cool, but they didn't add to it. They only added to them in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but in Sun and Moon they didn't do anything with them, and you only got the Z ring after you beat the game, and then you just kind of had to wander around the whole map to find your Mega Evolution your evolution crystals or whatever they're called, which is really dumb. And Z moves are just kind of dumb overall. They're just kind of stronger moves, which is dumb. And then, but they did remove those in Sword and Shield, I believe. I believe they said they were going to remove Z moves and Mega Evolutions in the game. I don't know if they're going to add them post game, which I would be fine with. But if they don't, it's kind of dumb unless they add new stuff to them. Because if they're not adding new stuff to them, it's not a big deal. While Dynamaxing, I feel like is just a simple enough gimmick, just making Pokemon big. Every Pokemon can technically use it. Z moves you can technically use too, but it's kind of dumb. Dynamaxing, kind of really cool, just big Pokemon, and then you make them like super strong. Now I feel like I said everything I kind of wanted to say about Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I do believe that it is going to be one of the better games. Now, if you ask me for my least favorite to favorite generation, it goes Gen 6, 7, 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. While I don't think that Gen 8 will be as good as the first 4 generations, I do believe that it is going to be better than Gen 6, 7, and 5. I do believe it is going to be better. One of the better games of the series, but I don't think it can compete with the first 4 generations. I also do believe that the game is going to be at a faster pace. Unlike Gen 4, which is slower paced, I do think this is going to be a more faster paced game, which is a good thing. I do enjoy that. But I think that is basically all I wanted to say. Thank you guys all for tuning in and watching this really bad Pokemon video. I do appreciate all you guys coming out. I guess that's it. See you later, trainers. Also, subscribe and like if you want. Peace out.